Yo, welcome back, everybody, to WWTA News. I'm glad that you all decided to stop back by so we can go through some news. All right, check it out. First and foremost, if you ain't hit that like button, let me get you to hit that like button. If you got any family, friends, or loved ones that you think could use this, let me see. Share the link. They could probably use this information. All right, so look, with all that being said, let's dive into some important things. The first important thing I think we should talk about is that market. Anybody liking that market? That market looks ugly right now. Does anybody like that market? I'm not liking that market, but bruh, that joint ugly, bruh. Yeah, that market's pretty ugly, but if you got some money, and I know we're going through some tough things right now, so everybody might not have money, but if you do have money, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, but it is a good time to increase your holdings. So, what are you talking about? Let me just say this to cover the whole conversation. Hopefully, I'm gonna get to some news. It sounds like I'm gonna have a whole conversation. So, to cover the whole conversation, cryptocurrencies are not stock shares. They're not shares of a company. That's not what cryptocurrencies are. Cryptocurrencies are a currency that has a use case. The use case will be used on blockchain, whether it's used by artificial intelligence or it's used by people like you and me. Okay, that's what it's for. It's for transmitting value and even now ownership of items digitally over the internet. All right. So, with that being said, to go over the whole conversation and topic, we've laid that down for foundation. It's not stocks. So, don't look at it like, oh, yeah, my value's gone down. I'm going to be broke. So, I'm going to hurry up and sell everything off. Right. It's not stocks. These are future use cases. So, even though people aren't holding on to their currency, it has no bearing. It's still a currency that has a use case. So when people start using again, the value has to go up for supply and demand because somebody wants that currency to transact however they're going to transact. So that's why I'm not bothered by what we're looking at, especially, being in this space for so long at this point in time. This isn't nothing new. This is nothing new. So with that being said, now we can talk about that market cap. Look, that market cap, it's like 1.2, 1.3 trillion. It has seen an all-time high over 2 trillion. Yes, it has, and we were all sitting pretty nice. We were all looking at our value, thinking, well, that currency has a good value, and some of us higher than others. But even at 2 trillion, we all knew that's been in this space for a long time. We all knew 2 trillion is nothing when you talk about the total value that's in this realm that we use being over 400 trillion dollars worth. Okay, so when you talk about 2 trillion, woohoo! No, bruh, 400 trillion, bruh. Like, that's what's really been in the space that we ain't even talked about, like, for real. So, we didn't see any value then. I mean, it was like fractions of a penny then when you were holding on to it. Like, oh, 2 trillion, yeah, I got money. Yeah, no, you don't. I mean, a lot of us are like, I've never held that much money before. Like that's all mine. And we're like, because of that, we think we're holding something of value. But when you talk about corporations, companies, shareholders, stock holders and whatnot, banks, corporations, even your congressmen and politicians, right? You look at the money that they're used to holding, they're laughing at the money we're holding. Like, that's funny, ha ha. And you think you got money, but it's like you don't. All right, so keep all that in mind. You're not holding a stock, you're not holding a share of a company. What you're holding is a currency that has a use case. So as long as you keep up with that currency and that in its use case, if it's still going to be used and it still exists, and there's still a lot of work being done with that currency, you're still holding future value, okay? You're holding future value. Do what you want to do with that information, whether you sell off, whatever you do. But just remember, there are people while you're selling off that are going to be buying up because they see the value in the currency, okay? So just keep that in mind. Do what you got to do. Let's move along. Let's move along. I think we talked about that long enough. All right, let's move along. All right, I got some tweets I wanted to share. I just thought were pretty cool and interesting. I'll start off with the first one being VCon. It says check out the gaming lounge presented by Gala Games. The gaming lounge is located on level 2 on the east side of US Bank Stadium and is open daily. Look for the signs. You can't miss it. To me, right, presented by Gala Games, Go Gala Games, excuse me, Go Gala. If this is them bringing blockchain games into an actual place where you can sit down and log on and play these games, like there's a place for people to conversate and lounge and hang out, it just goes to show me that we're moving further into that digital space, and this is looking great, especially holding those Gala Games currency. It's just like, that's interesting. And the price, the value of that currency has dropped considerably because people are selling off their coins or swapping out their coins for their currency, local currency, or whatever they're swapping off to. Either they're trying to play it safe and swap. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just speculating. But it sounds to me, or it looks to me, based on the drop in the total market cap, that people have been getting out of their currency and going back and probably to their native currency. All right. So that's pretty interesting there. Yeah, that, they actually have a lounge, right? We've got one here. Um, Brad Garlinghouse, it says today at Ripple is committing to invest 100 million to modernize carbon markets globally through investing in carbon removal companies and supporting growth in carbon credit tokenization functionality. Hear me out, right? NFTs aren't just about digital art. Two things I want to say about this. Yes. NFTs are not just about digital art. I wish people would stop saying this craziness because it spooks everybody off. NFTs are way bigger than we want to grasp right now. Just to see the things people are doing with it right now, it's like we're so small-minded right now. We're not seeing the big picture, and to be investing $100 million into carbon markets globally. Look, that carbon credit is going to be a major thing. If you see currencies tied to carbon credits, it's probably going to be some major stuff. Look, you've got Mr. Garlinghouse saying, yeah, we're investing 100 million into carbon markets globally. That's carbon credits. Okay, so money being invested in this space, you're hearing money coming into the space. It's like they're taking it seriously. Why aren't you? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Yeah, it's not stock shares. You know what I'm saying? It's currencies that people are going to use, and those currencies people are going to have to pay for, which means that they've got to swap something out to get that currency. So that just means supply and demand on that currency. That's all we're talking about here. We're not talking about if I own 100 shares of the company, once the company becomes valuable. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about dividends either. Now, when we talk about staking, technically we might be talking about dividends in a sense, but that's another conversation for another day. Let's continue. Mr. John.LSP, the fully collateralized US dollar stablecoin USDC is available on the Stellar decentralized exchange client known as LumenSwap. USDC is still mainly transacted over the ETH network with those horrible gas fees. Why don't you use Stellar? Wow, wait a minute. Stellar, yes, yes. This isn't a shocker. Didn't we hear about this over a year ago or 2 years ago that the United States sent like Venezuela or Colombia USDC over the Stellar network? Didn't we hear about this already? No surprise there. No, it's not a surprise there, but it does help us understand that Stellar Network is going to be used just like other networks are going to be used to move what? Stuff, stable coins, stuff like USDC. All right. And moving it cost effectively and efficiently. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the only network. You got XDC, you got Solana, you got what's this other one? My favorite, right? Tron's network, you know what I'm saying? You got all these jokers that's coming out the woodwork that have the potential to use to move these stable coins, right? I don't know if we're going to see central bank digital currency. I kind of, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense with with stable coins in existence if the stable coins are already back with their currency. So I would say, in the case of USDC, United States dollar coin, right? Obviously, I would say in the case of this, it's like, well, if United States dollars are what back the USDC, then I could see there is no need for a CBDC because technically that would essentially be what a CBDC technically could be, right? You're taking your native currency and you're duplicating it dollar for dollar or whatever it is, yuan for yuan, whatever it is, to match and then putting it on the blockchain. So once that's done, it's like, okay, is that not the same thing? I mean, everybody making a big funk about central bank digital currencies, but like, is this not the same thing if you're using a currency that is native to a country to do that? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, a basket of currencies, right? Well, isn't it still the same thing? You're still using native currencies to a country to back it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, technically, if you were backing it with other digital currencies, it's like, okay, well, technically you're backing it with other currencies that are exchanged on the exchanges. So yes, they can fluctuate in value up and down. If you're trying to hold it and make it stable, you'd have to do that in a way which we saw a failure. I don't know if it was intentional, but we saw a failure with, what was it, Luna, I think we saw with their stable coin, right, that they used um multiple currencies, cryptocurrencies to give value to their stable coins. So, those type of things can happen. So technically, yeah, I get it. I get it. Using um, native currency to a country does give stability to that digital stable coin, but at the same token, it's only as strong as it is based in that country's currency, right? So, the strength is only as strong as it is as it exists in its currency in its country. All right, so yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. I just thought I'd bring that up. Let's keep it moving. Hey, look, we got on XRP.com. They're talking about a 10-player battle royale play-to-win game where the winner takes all, right? So that's pretty interesting that we're now seeing games getting onto the XRP ledger or network. So we'll definitely want to keep our eyes on these things because we already know that the ledger is awesome, and to see games ending up on it, only more awesome things to come. All right, Ocean Protocol. Check this one out. We are excited to announce a new investment partner at Cipher Capital. It allocates 5 million USD to invest in Ocean Protocol ecosystem projects. So that's 5 million United States dollars brought into the ecosystem for Ocean Protocol to do what it's got to do. You see what I'm saying? So that's bringing in native currency into the space, and now we're talking about companies or corporate money coming into this space. So, I mean, look, you're looking at a market that's down, right? And you're like, okay, the market's down, woo, right? It's crazy, let me get out. But you're not seeing, companies or corporations getting out. You're still seeing they're bringing money in. They're still trying to see growth, and they're still trying to work to the future because I mean, the more news articles I go through, it's just going to point out that things have not changed. Just because you see the market down, people selling off their currency because they need money, does not mean that these currencies are going to go away. It does not mean that the technology is going to go away. When you look at this stuff, you got to say to yourself, it might be a good time to buy, right? Not a financial advisor. That's not financial advice. Do your own thinking. But let's continue. UN Federal Reserve, we're excited to announce our partnership with Governor DAO and our intent to work together to solve the challenges of institutional DeFi wallets and multi-person access within organizations. Pretty interesting there, right? Pretty freaking interesting, okay? They're now partnering with Governor DAO, right? I don't even know anything about that or who these people are, but it just seems interesting to see that UN Federal Reserve is not stopping. So let's figure out what's going on with that. So we got something here. I actually had to go to their one of their pages to see what's really going on with that. It says Governor DAO and UN Federal Reserve announced to partner on institutional DeFi, okay? The respective management teams of both Governor DAO and UN Federal Reserve are excited to announce their intent to work together to solve the challenges of institutional wallets institutional wallets, and multi-person access. It is widely considered that the next trillion dollars in crypto will be sourced from companies, not individuals. People are getting out. Do you think that companies are? No, they're still bringing money in. So it says, making their first steps into the world of digital currency, whether they're digital assets or stable coins, like USDC, universally accepted tier 1 assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or moon shooting meme token altcoins. Appropriate corporate controls start with access management. So again, it's like proving the point. I know the markets look horrible right now. And it's like, oh my God, it's horrible. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. But it's like, really? Really? Is it really? It's really horrible? You know what I'm saying? Because those of us who were in here early, when we moved money into this space and swapped out for these currencies, it's like, is it really bad? Because we still got more money than what we put in. And these currencies still have to grow in value, and corporations, institutions, they're still bringing money in here because they're working with the technology, because they're going to use it to grow their companies even more and stay ahead of the game. All right. They already know what we should be paying attention to is that this old system has come to a slow. All right. The United States dollar, it's been inflated because of the mass production of it. Just so I've got my ideas on how these things have worked out, what the reason it might be, but because of the creation of these dollars, right, that are used, I can't even say if they're used to pay debts, because we know in the US they have a law that states that gold and silver are the only things that can be used to pay debts. They use banknotes. The United States banknote is now given the equivalency of that. But the only reason I could imagine it gets that equivalency is because it's the Treasury's note, right? And so the Treasury keeps that record of the debt that's owed. So they're only using that to keep record. So if you really think about it, unless the United States has gold and silver equivalent to the debt, and the debt's around 30 trillion, and then when we start talking about the interest that's owed out, we're talking about 200 trillion, right? It's like, unless they got enough gold and silver to pay that off, then the dollar really has no actual value or worth to any other nation or country. So you got to ask yourself, like, do you honestly think they want to continue to move in the dollar, or is it that these companies, these institutions know that that's failed and it's just banknotes? It's not anything of any real substance. They know legally it's not gold and silver, so it's not used to pay off debts. It's just used to keep record of debt. That's all it is. So, I don't know. I'm just sharing my thoughts on that. You know what I'm saying? If you got any comments, of course, you can always put them at the bottom, drop them in the comments down there and talk about this stuff. But based on my understanding, it really makes no sense. And I only see that they're trying to get out of it. So I don't know. Keep my eyes on it. But as far as this UN Federal Reserve and this Governor Dow, I got to keep my eyes on that. And I know everybody's like, oh my God, I'm losing money. You might want to get out this space then. I don't know. That's all I can say. I don't know. If you're scared and you're bleeding out, this is probably not for you, because it takes time to pay attention, to think about it, and to realize that, it's still beginning stages. We've not reached a place. I don't know. Oh, we made some money. Yeah. You ain't made nothing yet. $2 trillion out of a $400 trillion worth of value and assets and money that exists. $2 trillion is where the space got to its max, and you're at 1.2, and you think, oh, you're losing money. Ain't no real money in the space yet. I'm just saying. All right. Next article, it says Meta trademarks for MetaPay hint at plans for a crypto payments platform. Meta, Facebook, has filed trademark applications for MetaPay, indicating plans to launch a payment platform with crypto support. They haven't learned anything yet, but you know what? Everybody loves Facebook, so I guess it's going to work. I guess it's probably going to work. I don't know. Next article: FTX US launches stock trading for select users. Did they now? I wonder why. FTX stocks now in beta access. FTX.US has opened beta access to FTX stocks, which will be offered through its trading app to select waitlisted users. Select waitlist users. The offering will be expanded to the entire platform over the next month, according to FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. So if you ask me, because I'm asking me, because I just want to talk about this, but let's just think about this. Didn't this guy buy shares of Robinhood, like a whole lot of shares, and everybody's like, what is he doing? Right? So now he has access to a company that will allow him to trade and exchange in stocks. Okay, so it only makes sense that with him having the FTX, right, with him KYCing and having all his papers legit, you know what I'm saying, that he would go and buy on the reverse or the flip side an actual stock exchange, right? So, I mean, it only makes sense, right, that he's going to offer both these things. He could even merge those companies into one, right, and do an FTX slash Robinhood, you know what I'm saying? And then change the logo or something, and then we're doing it all in one spot. You know what I'm saying? I have my reserves with stocks right now because I do believe stocks are going to be converted over into NFTs and end up on the blockchain. It only makes sense. It gives you the ability to trade over the weekends and on non-exchange, non-stock exchange hours, quote unquote, because then it'll be on the blockchain. So boom, that makes perfect sense to me. So I have a reserve right now. Well, I'm not so much into the stock market, but it's only because I see the potential what's coming in the future. So I don't know. Look, that's all I got for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you got any comments, please get in the comments below and post it. We can talk about different things. I don't mind talking about comments. Drop them. I'll talk about it. Anyways, that's all I got. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.